Hey guys, it's Josiah, obviously. And today I wanted to talk about faith and hope and like how they're connected and how they work together, and then just kind of like what that means for us in the middle of what's happening in our lives, in our world right now. I know that that's coming at us from a lot of angles, so I'm not really going to talk about specifics or anything like that, but I wanted to apply it in our lives in some scenario or some way, and I wanted to also express that obviously faith and hope kind of like transcend this situation. They don't stop when this virus stops. But yeah, I kind of just wanted to show you how it's more applicable in a tangible situation that we're in, and then it can be like applied to other things too. So I just want to start by defining hope, and our dictionary defines hope as a feeling or desire for a certain thing to happen. And then I'm going to compare that with the Bible definition. And the Bible in 2 Corinthians 1:7 in the Amplified Version says, it's Paul talking, and it says, and our hope for you, and then it goes to define it. And it defines hope as our joyful and confident expectation of good for you. And so the Bible kind of takes that feeling or desire for a certain thing to happen, and it builds off of it and makes it confident. And it's like hope in our dictionary is like, oh, we're really wanting this to happen. But hope in the Bible is our joyful, so they're not worried, our joyful and confident expectation of good for you. So it's like they know it's going to happen. They're hoping so strong that they have no doubts that what they're hoping for will happen. And then we're going to switch gears to faith. Faith in our dictionary is defined as complete trust or confidence in someone or something. And then in the Bible, in Hebrews 11:1, in the NIV, says, now faith is confidence in what we hope for and assurance about what we do not see. So it almost builds off of hope and builds even more off of that 2 Corinthians 1:7 version of hope, the Bible version of hope, that says, now faith is the confidence in what we hope for. Again, talking about our confident expectation of good. Faith is the confidence in what we hope for and the assurance in the things we do not see, because we can be firm and grounded and sure in what we don't see through our faith. And then to build off that even more, the New Living Translation turns that same verse and translates it this way and says that faith shows the reality of what we hope for. It is the evidence of things we cannot see. So it's taking that hope and that faith and building it even further and saying that our faith gives us the reality that God sees, the reality of what we're hoping for. It shows us what can be of the thing we're hoping for and gives us the tangible evidence of the things that we can't see. So now it's not just our confident expectation and our assurance in what we can't see, but it's our evidence. Like, we know it's going to happen because we have the evidence, even though we can't see it. So now, talking about faith and hope, it seems very evident. It seems very obvious and evident that faith and hope are tied and connected. And I just kind of simplified it down into two statements just for ease and said that hope is really wanting something to happen, and faith is knowing that something is going to happen. And so faith and hope are connected, but I want to emphasize that our faith is knowing that what we hope for will come to be. Oh, page flip. My fingers were right there. So, I just wanted to ask, kind of like, what does our faith, what does our confident hope in what we can't see, what does that look like, and what does that do for us in this situation when we're surrounded and confronted by a lot of hopelessness? Because I think that believing in something so strongly that we know it's going to happen is a really powerful move in this time and in life in general. I think that when you are pressing into God and believing and hoping and praying for something to happen, and you're so confident in a God that's so good that you're like, I know this is going to happen, I think that's a powerful statement to make to the people around you and a powerful conviction to have in your heart. Because if you believe that, then what can the enemy do? What can anyone do to make you think otherwise, you know? And so that kind of leads into what I was going to say. Like, our belief in God, in a God that's good and a God that keeps his promises, allows us to have this confident hope and this faith in him that what we hope for will come to be. And then kind of tying that back into hope and faith, it didn't leave, but a little more of like what we actually believe versus what we're just reading is in Proverbs 18:12. The verse starts and says, the tongue has the power of life and death. And it goes on to say just a little more. But I want to focus on that part, because if the tongue has the power of life and death, then what we say and what we're thinking and kind of what we're cycling around in our mind really has the power to make our reality, really has the power to shape our realities, whether or not that's actually what God's doing or that's actually what is happening. And so I want to make sure that in this time and just in your life that you are professing and proclaiming and declaring good things. Because if, like, it says the tongue has the power of life and death, which means that we can either create life and create goodness with our thoughts and what we say, or we can take that away and create death. And we're taking, we're taking the good things away from us. And I don't know why we'd want to do that. So we can be confident and we can declare these promises and this life through our hope and faith in our situation. Because, as I said before, we know that we have a God that keeps all of his promises. And two of the promises that I kind of just wanted to outline, just more proof. And not that maybe you need proof, but I don't know. Bulk up my argument. Is that, well, number one, we know that God's going to finish what he started. He's not going to leave us hanging out to dry. He's going to come in, intervene, and make goodness out of every situation in our lives, so we can be confident in declaring our hope and faith, because we know that God, no matter what it looks like or no matter what timeline it comes in, God is going to come and finish what he started, and he's going to come and finish what the enemy started. God did not make this coronavirus happen, this pandemic happen. The enemy did. But God's going to be the one that finishes it, not the enemy. And then his second promise that I was just thinking about is that I kind of mentioned it, is that God will take everything that the enemy has made for evil and he will turn it for good. Those are two promises that are tangible and that we can hang on to while we're like, why would I hope? Why would I believe? Why would I trust? Because he's done it before and he'll do it again. Because he's promised us that he will do it again and that he will make things good and he will finish what he started. Yeah. So I think at the end of this, that's a lot of what I have. But I just want to encourage us to pray the big, crazy, hopeful, faith-filled prayers that maybe we would have been scared to before. Because with prayer, like, what do we have to lose? If what we pray for doesn't come to pass, that means that God has something better that he wants to do. And if what we pray for does come to pass, then that's great. We got exactly what we were praying for and we wanted, And so I want to encourage us to pray the big prayers, to pray the big, scary, crazy prayers that you're like, how could this ever happen? Because it can, I just wrote down this one little note as I was preparing for this, and I said, we don't have to be afraid to pray the big prayers, as long as we trust that God knows exactly what he's doing. We don't have to be scared of disappointment, as long as we are confident and can rest in the fact that if God doesn't answer our prayer the way that we expected him to, it means that he has something different and better to answer that prayer. So yeah, I just want to encourage you guys through this whole heartbeat, just to be confident in a God that is good and can do anything, to keep your hope and faith grounded in truth. If you need a refresher on kind of like what hope and faith looks like, or what God's done before and what people have hoped for before, like in the Bible, or just even stories from our lives, you could probably reach out to I'm sure you can reach out to any of our youth leaders. Forgot that word. Like me, Stephanie, Faith, Kenzie, anyone, even any of the students. I'm sure that we all have, your mom and dad, anyone, I'm sure we all have something where we can be like, yes, God, I prayed for this and God came through exactly the way I thought, which is so cool. But it's also so cool when he doesn't come through the way we think, because it's always, always, always better. So yeah, I wanted us to be confident and just remember, and if you need a Bible story or something that where God has come through, that you just something to hold on to, still text the leaders, text our youth group chat, because we're all a family, and so if one of us needs something, we're gonna come around them and help them out. We all have so many resources around us, so if we need something, we just have to reach out. And then my other my other hope for this heartbeat was just to encourage us to pray crazy, awesome prayers, because we have nothing to lose, So one thing that I've been praying is just for the miracle of healing in our land, for coronavirus to be gone instantly. And then I've been praying for miracles for people that have the coronavirus to be healed immediately, whether they know God or not, and I'm not going to know the effect of my prayers in some of these ways that I'm praying, but I will know that I prayed and that God can hear them, and he knows, and he's got a plan. So yeah, I hope that was good. I hope that you could track with me and understand what I was trying to say. And yeah, thanks for listening. I think we're gonna do at least one takeaway from each person in the group chat or on the YouTube, if that's possible. But yeah, I look forward to seeing what you guys were thinking while I was talking. Thanks, guys.